Hi, Kat. Hi, Zeno. It's so great to
Hi.
Hello.
meet you guys today. I was stoked about this interview because you both voice, well, Zeno, you voice like everything and everyone.
I know Xeno's
But
everywhere.
like,
Thank you.
Kat, I love you as Miss Marvel. I think you
Oh,
really
I
thank
also love
capture.
her as Miss Marvel, so we're
Oh,
agreed.
thank you guys.
Yes, I love
Thank
this
you so
love
much.
fest. Like, you're great. You capture her character.
Oh,
Like,
I
I want to
appreciate
see
it.
you as a variant in the MCU. I'm gonna
Agreed.
speak it into existence.
Agreed.
I
Agreed.
would love for your spoken word to go out there and make it happen.
And like I said, Zeno, you're like in all the things that I watch.
Thank you. I
Like,
try. I appreciate it.
and
Yeah,
and
Xeno's
like
a
we
star.
were watching the Transformers screeners, and my son was like, "Is that Remy? That's Remy, right?" And I was like, "It is
Wow.
Remy.
It
It's
is.
Remy." So you're literally
That's so
everywhere.
cool. Wow, I'm honored. Thank you.
All right, I'll stop geeking out for a second and like bring it back
I
to why we are
mean,
here today.
listen, you're all about like the kids things and Transformers and okay, My Hero Academia might not be kids things, but
Uh,
I'm
I'm
over
like the
here like
anime
The Night
queen.
was such a great horror movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
All right.
amazing. Thank you guys. You guys just
Yeah, I
really
know. I'm so
made
honored.
our morning. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, we love that. All right. So I remember watching the Transformers TV show like on like Saturday morning cartoons like back in the day. And like I had the toys that, once they transform, they never transform back because that was the 90s. Like the new Transformer toys are, I was watching my kid play with it. I was like, dude, that's not fair. It like
Yeah.
transforms and it
Whoa,
goes
yours
I
back.
know
gets
they're
to go
pretty
back?
cool.
Yeah, like that's not mine are like half like transformed if they were like if I find the
Nice.
box of them.
And the
Hmm.
hologram
Yeah,
that never
exactly.
like
They're like real awkward. Yeah. So, were you two big into the Transformers too, like growing up, or was this show kind of how you got into that fandom?
I mean, I had watched it a lot as a kid too. I was a kid that was, you know, plopped in front of the TV, so
Mm,
like there was a lot of TV consumption in my time.
mhm,
And yeah, I mean, I loved Transformers. I thought they were super
mm.
cool. I remember seeing. I mean, sometimes I like to go and watch like old openings for on like YouTube channels for like old even commercials, and I sometimes I'll go through and I it takes me back to my childhood. So I did, yeah, I loved Transformers as a kid.
The OG Transformers opening is fire. Just so like by the way,
Yes.
it's so good. Yeah, I was a Transformers fan as a kid. I think maybe mostly to the toys, but it didn't start getting crazy for me until the movies, the Michael Bay movies. I watched those. I was really young and I like just started acting and I was like, I want to be in one of those movies when I grow up, as an actor. So uh I'm really honored that I'm a part of the lore, a part of the legacy now. Yeah, so it started then, and I've just been a fan ever since.
having been a fan of the show when you were kids, how was it getting a call to be a part of this series?
I mean, it's like the most exciting thing ever, especially when you're like, oh, and you're going to be a new Transformer robot. And you're like, wait, what? Thank you. No, it's
Yeah,
incredible. The best feeling.
yeah, agreed. I think it's like really crazy when you have to like. I remember the first day we got together in the first Zoom meeting, and I was like, "This is really like we're really doing. They're doing another one. We're doing this is happening. One of them. Like there was like a lot of auditions that went out at the time, and so I'm pretty sure Cal was the same way. We're just like throwing everything we have at every single character. Like maybe one thing will stick, and so like um and then you get the call that you're going to be a not just a transformer but a new one. You're
Mhm.
establishing a character in the universe, and that is a really cool feeling because that doesn't always happen. That doesn't always happen, which is like its own sort of special flavor of like adding on to how cool it is.
Because you guys are both new characters, did you get to like help mold like the personality, or was that kind of already set in stone?
I mean, a lot of the stuff is, written there. And they were written very well and beautifully. And so, of course, like there was a great foundation there. And then we just bring our own like spin and energy and, what what makes what we think makes each character different and unique and interesting. But it was already written so well that it was just a matter of like meshing what's in our head with what's on paper.
Agreed. I think they had really specific ideas of who these characters were, and it's really evident in the writing. And like Kat and I just kind of come in and we inject it with like life, you know, we inject it with, and then because we're two like individuals who connect to these characters in very specific ways, I think it lends itself to how the characters sort of build over the course of the show. So I feel like now we can be comfortable enough to, you know, usually we do 3 takes, so we'll be comfortable enough to maybe on the 3rd take say a little something different that like we think the character will say, and more than likely that might make it into the show. You know, there have been a lot of things I've said as Thrash that like just made it into the show. So and I'm sure Kat's the same way.
I love that. I think they have really cool alt modes. Yeah, she's a drone and he's like that, you know, the motorcycle sidecar.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
two could pick any alt mode, what would it be?
A hot air balloon.
Oh my
I like
God, I
that.
want to see
Ridiculous,
that
but it sounds so
animated now.
peaceful, you know, you kind of
Yeah.
just like float
do
along
you
and
do you become the little cart, like a mechanical, like the little cart, and then like the balloon sort
yeah.
of
Yeah, that just
takes you away?
like floats
Yeah,
up, you get
just float
around. Maybe
away.
it's like a little slower, but like
Right.
maybe you can't zoom quite as quickly, but at least like it's peaceful and beautiful up there.
Yeah, I love that. My answer remains hoverboard all the time, every single time. I think that would be really cool.
All right. I respect that.
Yeah.
Thrash is kind of the carefree, more laid back one, and Twitch is, you know, a bit more of like the go-getter. Do either of you find that you relate to your characters more or less than, you know, you expect to, or real life qualities that kind of transfer over?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel like Twitch a lot of the time. I feel like I'm like people are like the reluctant follower because I'm like, come on guys, let's do this thing. And everyone's like, okay, relax, you know? So yeah, no, I definitely and I think Twitch also has like this empathy and sensitivity towards her family that I also really kind of relate to, where she feels very responsible for everybody. As an only child, I often feel very responsible for everyone. So yeah, there's definitely qualities in Twitch that I'm very aligned with, and I understand her. I think, you know, in school maybe I wasn't quite as much of a like motivated student to I think Twitch would be a lot more like, I'm getting a 4.5, you know. I wasn't quite like that. I worked, but I wasn't as turbo as she is. So yeah, that's probably where there's like one slight difference, but I do relate to her a lot.
Yeah, for Thrash, he like very kind of opposite to Twitch. He don't want no responsibilities. He's like, I ain't asked to be involved in y'all Cybertronian drama. I'm just trying to have fun with my family. And a lot of times I feel that way. A lot of times I'm just like, I'm just trying to have a good time. Like I got responsibility. That why, you know, that I didn't ask for that. I think, but he also like feels he fights very fiercely for his family. He cares really a lot about them, and I think like I relate to him in that way, where as well, where he like if he cares about you, you know, he said something to Mo in one of the episodes. He's just like, you know, somebody, you know, I would break every rule to come find you if that's what it took, and I feel like I relate to like that sentiment towards the people that I care about deeply. Like there's no limit to like, you know, how the distance I'll go for the people that I love, you know. So yeah, and I think he's just really cool and laid back, and he just wants to have fun. I'm always that way. I'm very responsible.
I feel like I'm a mix of the two. Like, because I'm an oldest child, so I'm like the go-getter and like feel like I'm responsible for everybody, but I also like I hate the drama and I just I don't want to do it. I just like, can I just go have fun? It's
So relatable. That Enneagram 8-wing-7 right here.
Oh yeah, all the zodiac stuff, yeah. So like with the alt mode stuff, I love how well, I don't love it. Like they were shading Bumblebee in the one episode. He was like, "Oh, you were lame before," and I was like, I was hurt
Yeah.
because like I was like, "What? No, the bug, man, that was like the best thing." So,
So cool, yeah.
what do you think? Was Bumblebee better as a Volkswagen bug? Because I think he was.
I do love the bug version. I do. I'm not gonna say better. I'm gonna say different. But I do. I like a retro car anyway, though. I feel like all the cars these days look alike, and I love seeing like a personality in a car. I mean, in like real life.
Yeah, let's just say that I like his new one better.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's just say the Camaro. This is drippy. Yeah.
I mean, if it had been a Mustang, I probably would have liked it better. I'm not a
I was
Camaro
like,
fan.
you had a lot of old cars. You could have picked the DeLorean. You know, you could have picked the DeLorean.
Oh, that would have been hot. I would love that.
You would have, you know. We're gonna get one. We're gonna get a DeLorean Transformer at some point. If it doesn't already exist, that I just don't know about.
That would be awesome. I would probably need that toy myself.
I'm here for the DeLorean Transformer. Absolutely.
Same. I'll be waiting.
Okay.
10%.
I think we're all waiting. Just
Right.
putting that out there.
Put it out there again. Yeah.
Putting it into the universe. So if the two of you teamed up in real life, who would be the leader?
Cat 100%.
Maybe only because I'm older.
But yeah, I just think you're like what you just said about like you're just go-getter leader in your natural life. So there's also that. I feel like you're way more responsible than I am.
I don't know, Zeno. I don't know. I feel like I text Zeno for stuff all the time. I'm like, Zeno, what am I supposed to do for XYZ? Because he's a leader in the voiceover world. And he leads me.
I just have a lot of nerd knowledge, you know. I just have a lot of
So it depends on what the assignment is.
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
Exactly.
So trivia night, Zeno's the leader. We got it. All right.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. For sure.
But if we're like doing anything that means anything.
For saving the world, we go to Kat. If it's trivia, we go to Zeno.
Trivia night,
got it.
I'm your guy.
Got it. All right, we got our team then.
Yes. So what was your favorite film to scene? Sorry, that was, let's try that again. What was your favorite scene to film this season?
Oh man. I was probably, I mean, I really liked it when Twitch is like trying to figure out her alt mode. Because again, she's so enthusiastic and excited and turbo. And those are always fun things to explore because she's just so high energy about it. And she gets excited off of everything. So yeah, her finding her alt mode was fun for me.
I think my favorite episode so far, because I always harken back, like when I'm thinking of what, you know, we've done a lot. So I'm always like, what did I do? So I think I always return to House Rules. I think it was just a great insight into Thrash's character. You know, he had a lot of Thrash doesn't often have like super deep tender moments because he's always trying to make jokes out of the situation, but when he does, he's like dead serious. And I just love that nuance. And you know, there was at the end of the episode him trying to like take down a Decepticon like twice his size, and it was just a cool also examination of the difference between Terrans and the Cybertroni, right? Like the size difference, the power difference, and you know, it was just a really, I just loved the layers of that episode. So that's what I always kind of return to.
And what about favorite lines? Do you guys have any favorite lines that you did this season?
Like Zeno, you mentioned working some in and they actually made the cut. Was there one that you were like,
And
yes,
and so,
that
sometimes I
He's like,
can't
I said
tell,
that, but I
right?
don't remember them now.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like I'll be watching it and I'll be like, and I'll go over the script and I'll be like, yeah, I made that up. So I don't know.
There was a line that I said like that was like, "Oh, minivan." It was something about a minivan. I remember that.
Right.
I was super excited about a minivan because I think that was when it was when she was trying to figure out her alt mode.
Yeah.
And there was we recorded them a while ago.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. I feel like there's a lot of times where I like, or I've like watched something and I laughed out loud at it. I was like, wow, that was such a good. I had to like go back. But I just can't remember it off the top of my head. I think I remember one scene where I think they all got trapped and there's this like electric barrier on the top and like Thrash was like, you guys, it's just easy. I'm just gonna break through, and then he like gets electrocuted and then he's like, "Kids, gotta take a second here on the ground," you know. And I really love that the way I delivered that. Yeah, I don't know.
you voice so much stuff. You're like, I don't remember what I said. It's who and what and when and where.
I wish I did though. I'm trying to. I'll have a better answer for you in 2 seconds when I think about it.
Okay. Speaking of all of your voices, which one of your characters do you think Thrash would get along with the most?
Ooh, maybe I'm trying to think of like another character that like just likes to have fun and is like shirks all responsibility for the sake of fun. I'm brought to Gamma 2 from Dragon Ball Super for some reason. I think like they're both robots, so they relate there, and they're both like really good natured, they're both really like at their core like kind of rascally, fun loving guys. So I think they'd really get along actually with all of those like similarities.
That's fair. I was thinking like Akira, like Zom 100, because
that's so perfect. Oh, that's so perfect. Yeah.
I feel like Thrash would be like, let's do this bucket list. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's go right now. I think he'll just like he'll transform into the thing and Akira will ride him. And
yeah.
And what a perfect partner to have during the zombie apocalypse than a giant robot that like can shield you from zombies.
Yeah, and you like a getaway car when the zombies are after you. So
yeah, that doesn't run out of gas. That's so perfect. You're absolutely correct.
And then both of you voice heroes. So you've got Miss Marvel, obviously, love her, and Hawks in My Hero. Do you think Twitch and Thrash would want to team up with them if they had to cross over to those universes, or would Twitch want to be with a different Avenger, and would Thrash kind of chill out more with one of the other hero agencies?
I honestly feel like Twitch. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
I feel like Twitch and Ms. Marvel would get along really, really well because they're both like kind of in the same boat of like trying to learn how to be superheroes, and they both have a love for family. They both, which like are constantly wanting to do the right thing. I think they would pair up really well together.
I think Thrash would pair up with Hawks in only that to slack off. Like I think like Hawks would like I feel like for a hero agency, Hawks would actually probably recruit Twitch before Thrash because Twitch flies and like kind of like with Tokoyami, like Twitch flies. She the red scheme. She's got the 2 swords. He's got the feather swords. He would probably be like, I could teach her. Even though he's not super into teaching the next generation, he's like, oh well, if I'm gonna pick anybody, like she's like clearly could be my successor. Hawks and Thrash would like they'd be like, let's go to an arcade. Like they both are like responsibility. That's kind of a lot. We just kind of want to chill,
I love it.
EarthSpark Season 2, anything you can tell us about your characters and what they'll be up to without spoiling anything, of course?
Is there? Can we say? Is it official? It's official that it's out, right? It's not like a secret?
No, it's out. Yeah.
Okay,
it's out.
Okay.
And
or that it's
It's
Stay
happening?
on
tuned.
it's on the Google. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's out. But you know, not everybody's seen it, so it's like just I don't know. There might be things you
Gotcha.
want to say
Yeah.
that, like, if they
Yeah.
haven't watched the whole series yet, you don't want to be like, oh, so and so happens in like whatever episode 8, and you're like, okay, well, I'm
Right.
not gonna watch it now.
I think there's going to be a lot more deeper family dynamics. We're going to get to see, you get to see, there's Twitch and Thrash, but then we have a new set of Terrans with Nightshade and Hashtag and, God, what is this? What's my
Jawbreaker.
brother's name?
Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker. Yeah. And they get to go through their own periods of growth and adapting to human life. And of course, you've got Ghost and Mandroid in the corner scheming as always, and a lot plays, as the series continues. We get to see a little bit more about the Ember Stone and how the Terran's existence plays into not just Earth but the greater Cybertronian conflict and how they feel about it and their position in that as well.
Great.
Well, we're excited for it. That's our time. Thank you so much for nerding out with both of us. This was great.
Thank you for having us. That was super
Yeah.
fun.
Yes. Thanks for chatting.